Hello there, my name is Victor, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm extremely happy to say that I am the newest member of scotTRANS. I identify as a trans male, but I often express my gender in a flamboyant, what might be considered femme way. I am a cosplayer and an actor. I'm obsessed with the Victorian era and all things gothic. I'm 22 years old, about to be 23 in November, and I spend most of my time making videos for my main channel, Victor Lockhart, where I make cosplay skits and makeup videos and things like that. I'll put a little button in one of these corners so that if you like, you can check out my main channel. I do like to talk about gender on my main channel as well, but not as much, so that's why I'm so happy to be a part of this channel, so I can actually just babble about it so much more. And yes, I know my accent is quite English, but I've been born and raised in Scotland. My mum is English, which is why I sound like this. I also think over time I've just kind of developed this accent, sort of my own, and yes, it doesn't sound Scottish at all, but I am Scottish, so please believe me. So now the introduction part is basically done. I would love to jump in and talk about this week's topic, which is sexuality. Now, my sexuality has basically been this crazy runaway train ride, and I've only just recently figured out what the destination is. I think figuring out your gender and your sexuality at the same time is an extremely complicated mix. So for me, as a trans man who didn't know he was trans for 20 years, it's been an interesting time. Ever since I can remember, I've always liked boys. A lot. I actually had a crush on one in primary 2 who I was constantly trying to impress and catch his eye. It was, of course, a fruitless venture, much to my dismay at the time, but basically for the longest time I've always fancied boys. The funny thing was, though, I always felt an odd kind of attraction to girls as well. But over time I've come to realise something quite interesting about that and why that was the case. I think fundamentally, even though throughout my teen years I didn't know I was a boy, I mean I didn't know I was a boy for 20 years, I felt inherently gay. Like being gay was a part of my identity almost as a person. That I've always felt that. So I think at the time when I saw girls, and I used to think I was a girl, it made sense to me that I should go out with girls, because I just felt gay. So in all honesty, what I'm saying is, throughout my entire life, the idea of me being heterosexual is actually extremely repulsive to me. Boys that used to hit on me or be interested in me when they thought I was a girl and I thought I was a girl used to actually make me feel physically sick, which I didn't understand because I did fancy them. I actually liked these boys that were asking me out, but there was something that just kind of stabbed me. They'd be like, hey, do you want to go out with me? And I'd be like, absolutely not. Because something just felt wrong. It just, And that's because I didn't know who I was. I'll always remember when I came back from school once, when I was about 16, I came up to my mum and I just said, you know, I really feel like more of a gay man than a woman. And at the time I thought this was really funny, and Mum thought it was really funny, and I didn't really pay much mind to it, apart from there was this like clawing feeling in my gut that there was something true in that sentence. Obviously it took me many more years to figure out the truth. But I think in that moment I felt part of the true me coming out in that sentence. That was almost like me coming out to my mum, but it didn't make sense at the time. So it was only after I figured out I wasn't a woman that I managed to fully embrace my sexuality and feel confident about it. Once you know who you are, it's so much easier to figure out who you love. So after a lot of confusing comings and goings and internal struggles with myself, I can finally say that I am a gay man. And that basically means, for me anyway, that I'm attracted to masculine identifying people. So not just your, straight up and down man. Anyone that identifies in a masculine way, I feel an attraction to. So in short, figuring out your sexuality, especially as a transgender person, can be extremely difficult, and it may take a very, very long time, because you really need to get to a stage where you're accepting your own self and your own gender before you can start thinking about who you want to go out with. I have to say, the confusing road of figuring out your sexuality is so worth it. You just need to take some time, think about who you are, and it will just become so much clearer. It's been lovely to introduce myself today and make my first video, and I'm so excited to come back every Sunday, which will be my day. I'm sure you figured that out because today is Sunday. But just in case you didn't, just in case you've lost track of all time and what day it is, because I've done that before, today is Sunday. And I will be coming back every Sunday on this channel to talk to you about gendery things. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday.